And Pep Guardiola often plays the rotation game at this time of year, but just the one change in Wednesday's success over Leeds. Bernardo Silva starts with Ilkay Gundogan given a rest. Rico Lewis at right back again, preferred to both Kyle Walker and João Cancelo. And Julian Alvarez is back from the World Cup and starts on the bench for Manchester City. As for Everton, Frank Lampard makes 4 changes from Boxing Day. The headline, a start for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, back after injury to lead the attack. Connor Cody is back in defence. Ben Godfrey also coming in the back 5 for Everton. It's Godfrey's first start since the opening weekend of the season. Also a recall for Damari Gray, with Anthony Gordon and Yerry Mina both ill and missing from the squad. So Don, what do you make of the 2 systems we'll see here today?
Well, there's no surprise. I think the form that Everton are on, that Frank's gone a bit defensive. It will be a back 5, a flat back 5 at times. It's how much support they can get to Calvert-Lewin, Iwobi and Gray on the left-hand side will try and get forward. But I think it's the start of the game Frank will be interested in. Try and keep a clean sheet the first 20 minutes. But this City side, well, Haaland leading the way, are phenomenal at the moment.
Yeah, I think Haaland, who reached 20 goals for the campaign, with 2 at his hometown club Leeds on Wednesday night. 20 goals in just 14 matches.
He has. Who is it, Robbie? Is it Erling Haaland?
Haaland again. I tell you what, City were appealing for a penalty moments before. Adrissa Gay on Mahrez. The ball went out of play, wasn't checked, no penalty given. Then Mahrez on the right-hand side, on his left foot, puts it onto his right,
so well.
Squares it to the centre of the goal, about 8 yards out. Haaland falling backwards on his right foot, gets it in to the centre of the goal. Pickford's beaten. The defender on the line can't keep it out. It's a wonderful finish. I think Pickford might get a touch on it to take it away from the defender on the line, but it's Mahrez who makes that goal. But it's Haaland with a goal, another one.
18 goals in his 12 home performances in the Premier League this season. It's quite remarkable. What's amazing, though, Robbie, is every time you watch Erling Haaland, whenever we watch Manchester City, his movement is so impressive. The way he just manages to get away from defenders. Surely they know exactly what they need to do. They need to mark him, but he always finds space. Yeah, we're just watching this replay, Jules. Does Pickford, so the defender, I think, is it Godfrey on the line? No, is it?
Yeah, actually, so
Pickford
the defender on the line would
have cleared it, but Pickford dives and he gets his right hand to it, and it takes away from the defender. The defender would have cleared it. But another goal for Haaland just goes to show when Chris played in the Premier League how bad it was.
Chris, how impressive is that centre-forward play? When you watch his movement there, he just manages to get free and get into that space with no one marking him in the box.
Yeah, initially Grealish drives off the left-hand side, comes inside. Haaland initially makes a run, it comes to nothing. Grealish pops out to Mahrez, who then chops. But what Haaland does, rather than stand still, he just has a little look and he peels into the space and creates himself a yard, and that's all it takes. And it's quite an uncomfortable looking finish in the end from Haaland, but it's brilliant movement from him. He creates that yard of space, and that's where he is so sharp of mind. Everybody talks about his pace over a distance, and yes, he's super quick, but it's his speed of thought as much as anything why he's scored all these goals.
And you talk about the different type of finishes as well. He's got absolutely every different type of finish in his locker, doesn't he?
Oh, right foot, left foot. If there's a weakness to his game, is it in the air? But that's sort of picking, holes really. But there isn't a weakness, is there? He's, is the ultimate finisher. We've never seen anything like this in the Premier League. I played with Shearer, who was, phenomenal. And you think the goals that he scored, but it looks like this guy's going to.
So Haaland's better than Shearer, is that what you're saying?
Well, at this moment in time, he's outscoring him heavily, Rob. I don't know whether you've seen him play. Have you, Haaland?
Jules, we need to add here that he's got an array of quality around him, just putting it on a plate for him. I know he's still got to be there to finish, but you're talking about top players there in the heat of the moment and the fine details that make the right pass on the safe side, not where he's going to get tackled or it's a half chance. They're putting it absolutely. I mean, the chop there from Mahrez was absolutely outstanding, and he just puts it on the plate for him.
Did you see Tarkowski when he made the first run and Tarkowski gets attracted to him, and then Tarkowski had to go and double up with Mahrez, and he actually points to someone to pick him up.
Yeah.
And none of the other Everton players picked him up. He just ghosted into that position. He's just got that instinct, doesn't he?
Got to say, the floater's having a good show.
He is. He's doing well.
Haaland's no good in the end. He's better than Shearer.
He's keeping busy. 21 goals this season, Erling Haaland. Jermaine, St James's Park, Newcastle had another opportunity, and have they made a substitution?
So De Bruyne puts it in, Stones hits the outside the post, and Haaland goes to close the ball down. He has launched himself into a tackle. He's got a yellow card. We haven't seen the replay. Obviously, it's raining in Manchester as always. He's launched himself. Pickford then runs over to the assistant, and he's in the assistant's face pointing. Haaland's got grass on his cheek from the tackle. So we're going to see the replay. He's given a yellow card. Is there enough in it for VAR to look at it and give a red?
Let's go back to your friend Peter Walton. He's had a quick look at this. Peter, you're the referee on the pitch right now. What are you thinking when you see Haaland lunge in like that?
Yeah, this guy's been simmering since that very first moment when Haaland got injured, if you remember. And since then, Andy Madley's had a real hard time keeping control. And it has this undercurrent, this game, as I've been watching it. I think Haaland's going to be a very lucky man if he stays on the field here, because what he's done is a bit of frustration's come out, and he's gone at speed with force. Yes, he probably hasn't caught him, but let's have a look at this again. This looks a poor foul.
Robbie, what is it for you?
I'm going to tell you now, Jules.
It's a yellow.
Is it the force that he goes in with, or is it because he's raised off the floor? What do you think makes it more than a yellow?
This is going to be the best angle now I'm going to look at. Yeah, it's a yellow for me. I think it's a yellow.
Sav, just before that free kick went in, that free kick was awarded to Haaland, and he got up and got the crowd going.
As in he won the free kick?
As if that's the first one that's been given to me today. He's been rough. His feathers have been ruffled. I think he's been pulled and pushed from pillar to post. So he's been frustrated in the last couple of minutes, and that's just a heated tackle.
I think that's a red, and the reason I think is because he's gone with his left foot. So if he's about to clear it up the left-hand side, if he's going to block the ball, he slide tackles and he goes with his right foot. But look at his left foot, he goes.
I think it's a yellow.
Does he get any of the ball?
No, I think it's a yellow.
Instantly wanted to change your mind,
didn't you? I think it's a yellow.
You really think that's a red?
Come on, Jack.
At the speed, you're slowing it down there.
And I felt like you changed your mind.
Does he get any of the ball?
No, it's a yellow card.
It's a yellow. So, other than Joe, we all think that's the yellow card.
Yellow.
All right, well, I can think it's a red.
You can absolutely. Joe, there is nothing wrong with disagreeing with everyone.
There's also nothing wrong with changing your mind, though, either. Joe, do you want to change your mind?
Who have Manchester City got next? Chelsea.
Joe!
Defo red.
Some inconspicuous decision making in the studio.
No, I think it's the correct decision, but you love that from him. You know, his aggression, his power, his pace. He's got his goal again. More goals before Christmas than Chris got in his golden boot year. So listen, he's doing well. 1-0.
21 goals this season for Erling Haaland in the Premier League. Quite remarkable in 15 matches, 18 goals at home at the Etihad in 12 Premier League games. The man continues to score. So Manchester City leading by 1-0 at half-time. We saw just before all of the matches kicked off today in the Premier League that the tributes for Pelé...
desperately desired. It was brilliant to see his face, and he's at the Etihad Stadium to watch Jack Grealish start for Manchester City. Who knows? If he scores again, he might do another goal celebration.
Well, you'd like to think, if you're a Man City fan, a bit like Sean here, there'll be a lot of goals in this game with the way Everton are playing. So you'd like to think with Jack and Haaland, there's Kevin De Bruyne, there should be plenty of goals for Man City.
And what a big game for City, because if they win today against an out-of-form Everton, they go to within 2 points of the league leaders Arsenal, who play in the late game away to Brighton.
That would be perfect, I think, for City. I think it'll also put Arsenal under a little bit of pressure, because that little cushion, that little buffer they had is going to be non-existent. And they're going to play against a tough team at the Amex in Brighton. It's not going to be an easy game for them. So City really need to pick up these 3 points to start the momentum going there, to try. So beautiful in the second chop, and then on the right foot to cut it back, see where Haaland is. And it's a great finish. I think Pickford gets a finger to it, which takes it away from the player on the line. But if you can see him here, he's pushing, trying to make space for himself. Then he bends the run when he realises he's not going to get it to the other side. And then he just kind of fakes, dummies in and then steps out. And that creates a space for him to get the shot off on his right foot.
Beautiful to see how active a centre-forward can be. You know, he stays alive, he makes different runs. Mahrez does amazing, but that little cutback is such an important feature, and they do that brilliantly. And Haaland he's just a machine. He's been so aggressive in his running, but actually he's been quite aggressive in the game as well, been very physical. Nice to see actually somebody play with such such a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah. Interestingly, that goal was scored from the only shot on target from either side between City and Everton. Just before half-time, John Stones came very close, of course, to getting a second for the home side. Now, this was interesting because what followed was also another example of feisty Haaland.
Well, first of all, how good a ball is this from Kevin De Bruyne? Great header from Stones. Obviously, it's unlucky it comes off the post. Watch Erling Haaland. I mean, he might have 21 goals in December, but he means every possession. I think a little bit is that because Tarkowski's been so physical with him. He's bumped him, he's been aggressive with him. He said, go on, if you're going to give it to me, I'm going to give it back. I love to see him compete. It's not a malicious foul, but look how physical they are with him. You know, that makes a guy, you know, he's not shrinking. He's actually enjoying that physical side, and I love to see that.
Yeah, he's growing into the battle, and I think it's a good thing. Obviously, now he's on a yellow card, so he's walking a little bit on a tightrope, and he might have to calm down. But again, like you said, to have that little feisty side in games is beautiful to see.
Yeah, because he celebrated winning a free kick just moments before that incident happened. There was a penalty shout for City for a foul on Riyad Mahrez. It wasn't given. Sean, you think possibly there should have been?
Yeah, well, the law is if there's contact, you can see he clearly treads on his foot, which is going to put anybody off of their stride or running. It will break your pattern. And if you see it here, like it's ever so slight, but he gets it. And he can't do anything else but go down from that.
What do you think, Owen?
Look, you could have easily given it in the moment. I think it looks soft, but Sean's right. Once he touches his foot, you know, it impacts him, and that's why he goes down. Could have easily give it, but when they don't give it, they don't overturn it. So I think we've seen that being consistent there, but could have easily been.
Okay.